The biggest factor to helping you grow as a life insurance agent is you having a standard for yourself, a standard for your team. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly what that looks like, why you need to implement it, and what successful agents who are hitting $40,000, $50,000, and $6,000 a month are doing. My name is Trey. I'm the owner of Agent Lead Lab. In the past 3 years, we've helped 550 plus agents hit $40,000 per month. They issue paid commissions, that's to their bank. And on this channel, I try to talk about the strategies, tactics, and behaviors that you can go out and implement specifically to help yourself. So as always, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Let's hop right into the video. Okay, cool, y'all. So I want to make this video quickly because I want to touch on something, which is the standard. All right. Now, I think that it's low key, and I guess I can unshare my screen or like pop this up because this is more of like a talking face type video. But what is a standard? All right, so I use myself. I play professional football. I play Division I football. There was always this thing, like you heard it from like the New England Patriots, Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. They talk about it. They had this thing like the standard is standard. The standard is set. What does that mean though? So for a lot of people, if you've never been in that type of environment, this is essentially what happens. Okay, when you walk in your first day on campus, and this is actually even before when you're in high school, like there are a certain set of practices, behaviors, and a mindset that you have to have in order to be successful at the highest of high levels. And unfortunately, fortunately, there's 1% of people that make it and become, Division I athletes. And we can just look it up real quick because I'm just not like getting all the talking. So let's do. How many players get to go Division I Power 5? Less than 1% of roughly 1 million high school football players in the U.S. get to play for a Power 5 program. That's SEC, Big 10, ACC, Big 12, Pac-12 equivalents. While about 7% play college football at any level. So there's 1 million people, and there's less than 1%. So what is that? 1%. This is so bad. 1 million times 0.01. So 10,000 people every year get an opportunity. All right, so okay, let's see. That play or get scholarships. I'm gonna say, is that for all years? So freshman to senior, or is that just going into college? Okay, 1 to 1.5% of football high school players receive a scholarship. Okay, so if you're going to, that's Division I. Okay, so Division I is actually like D1. They even include sometimes D1 AA. All right, now there's a 0.5% chance or less that you go to what's called a Power 5. Those are like what most people know. Florida, Alabama, Georgia, like my school, I went to Vanderbilt. Go to those schools. And how many, so they say, how many D1 football players, Power 5, go to the NFL? That's a better one. Let's say, let me ask it this way. What is the percentage of one football players that go to the NFL? Approximately 1.5 to 1.6 of NCAA college football players advance to the NFL. 1.5 to 1.6, right? Go to the NFL. So out of 70,000 people that are eligible, only 250 to 260 players are drafted. Now, let's say there's another, how many people that get undrafted? So get an opportunity, right? And then it say, how many of those players get to an active roster versus practice squad? And if you watch my stuff and you don't know what this means, that's cool. Just follow with me. Out of 16,000 plus draft eligible players, only 250 to 260 are drafted. So there's 1,696 spots, while 16 to 17 man practice squads. What that means is only 1.6 of all NCAA football players ever make it to a professional level. That's including the free agents. I don't think you understand what that means. There's 1,600 spots in the entire country. Okay? So here's what that means. The average player only lasts 3.3 years, meaning 25% of the league is replaced annually. Annually. It's the highest of the highest of the highest levels. That doesn't factor in injuries, like what I had, tons of other things that can happen that actually eradicate players from even being able to play, get opportunities, etc. Now, let me explain something. Millionaires are made every day in America. There's over 1,000 millionaires made per day. There's 1,000 millionaires made per day. Now, the average NFL player makes what? Average NFL football player salary. So there is essentially, let's just call it on a safe side, the average player makes $1 million. I know that's not true, but let's just say that the average player makes $1 million. Let's go back to here. I'm about to explain why this all ties together, okay? If there is only 1,696 spots, plus an extra, let's go 17 times 32. So we're going to do some math. 17 times 32. That's 544. So we'll go 544 plus 1,600. 21. So there's 2,150. Let's just call it 2,150 players in the league. If we're saying the average, and the practice squad shouldn't even be included, but I'm gonna just say it is. That's 2,150 players in the whole NFL. That means that every 2 days there are more millionaires made from just in the U.S. because there's 1 million a day. Sorry, 3 days. That means in 3 days there's more millionaires made outside of football. Now, why am I using that analogy? If all these people couldn't make it to the league and they didn't make as much, if you just used a fraction of the things that you can learn from athletes in your business, you will dominate. That's why I believe that a lot of the people that make a lot of money, they just didn't necessarily have a skill, because don't get it twisted. They know how to get paper. So they understand the psychology. Now, this is what I'm trying to get to. I know I was a roundabout way and I spent a lot of time here, but that's how I think through things. You need to have a standard for yourself. You think the people, there is 1,000 millionaires made every single day in the U.S. alone. Let me see how many millionaires are made every day in the world. How many millionaires are made every day in the world? Let's see. The U.S. has over 40% of the world's millionaire population, one country alone. So we're just going to use us as a standard. All right. I'm not even going to go too in depth with that. Here's what I'm trying to say though. These people that are making $1 million, they got a standard. You are an agent or an agency owner. If you're not making $1 million, and I don't mean no AP, I mean actually into your bank account, right? Or relative. We'll just say you as an agent on your own pen are doing $1 million. Let's just use that, right? Because if you're a business and you're doing $1 million, that means you're making $100,000 a month, relatively speaking, right? That's not really your money in the life insurance space. So you really got to be making $1 million a month to be considered a millionaire in the real world, because that's what you actually, that's like, it's advanced, right? That's kind of what you should be netting, 70 to 100 something, depending on how you structure your organization. So we'll call you a millionaire, all right, into your bank account, because that's how you got to look at it. Like all the other stuff is just fluff, right? Every agency owner who's putting $1 million into his bank account every year is, and I don't mean personal, I just mean like that's what they're bringing in, right? Obviously, they got taxes and got pay for leads and all sorts of other systems, hire their staff. I mean, like gross, let's call that, right? The reason they're doing that is because they have a standard. The reason an agent who can do that is because they have a standard. The reason why all these millionaires are made is because they have a standard. The reason why football players are doing it is because they have a standard. Everybody who's successful, they have a standard. What does a standard mean? Let's keep it super simple. I didn't go overcomplicate it. When you wake up in the morning, what is a set list of things that you prioritize in your mind that you're going to do? That regardless of your emotional state, that you will execute on whatever the task or behaviors are in front of you. Let's make it really, really simple. Whatever you tell yourself when you don't want to do things is your standard. That's how I look at it. When I'm tired, what do I still do in spite of me being tired? When I'm sleepy, what do I still do in spite of me being sleepy? When I don't want to do something, what do I still do in spite of me not wanting to actually do it? That is your standard for you. Now, what is the standard for the people around you? It has to be, I get things done regardless of how I feel. I operate at this level of thinking. I don't think in terms of capacity. I think outside the box, things get done. There is no way that things can't get done. I don't see obstacles. They don't exist in my mind. It's just like, okay, I need to find a way to move around this. Nothing stops me. Like, I'm gonna be like, okay, I just need to figure out how. It's not, I can't. I don't use that vocabulary. These are my standards, right? I have a lot of them written down. I look at them and they're ingrained in my mind for how I operate and see the world. That's a standard, right? Agents that are doing well, there's a standard. I'm going to start at 8. I'm not going to end until I get 3 presentations. Standard. I'm going to start at 8. I'm not going to end to 8. Standard. I'm going to call this many leads. Standard. I'm going to put my phone on do not disturb and I'm going to lock in. Standard. Like, dude, no matter what you do, there has to be a standard. It's simple and it's straightforward. Am I going to do a standard? Yes or no? If you don't have that for yourself and every day is like, I'll kind of see, maybe I go to the gym, maybe I don't, bro, you have no standard. And if you have no standard, it does not matter. I spend a lot of time on this channel talking about strategies. And honestly, most of the stuff I talk about is mindset. I told people, if you're watching this now, and you can go all the way back to when I started doing this, which is September, and I'm going to keep doing it. I record these because they're almost like podcasts, little mini documentaries to myself. If people enjoy them, cool. I am choosing not to right now invest into having like a podcast studio and all these other things. I probably will in the future because I enjoy listening to those. I love YouTube. I like podcasts. But this is my version for now. It's easy. I can pop it up on Loom. It's simple. I can do what I need to do. I finish this. I get straight into my work. It's a very seamless process for me. But I just try to pay it forward. And if you're a type of person who's trying to figure out how do I get from where I'm at to where I'm trying to go, you need to understand your situation. I hear from agents all the time that they make excuses. A standard is that I don't make excuses. No excuses, no explanations. Right? No excuses, no explanations. No excuses, no explanations. No matter what's going on, I'm not going to make an excuse. No, I'm not going to explain why it didn't work. I'm just going to say I didn't do it. Point blank, period. Whatever the consequences are for me not doing those actions, I have to be okay with them. Man, I bought the leads. I didn't get anything out of it. Okay, cool. What did I say? How can I analyze my script? What could I have done better? I got an objection that said I didn't fill it out. I didn't get frustrated and let that objection control me. Right? Now, if somebody says they like just hang up on you, that's different. But you don't let, okay, yeah, hey, no worries. Maybe you were just a little bit confused. I totally understand. Let me take a step back. All right. So I got this request. Briefly tell me now, when you were looking into this, were you looking more into like trying to protect your family, or like what was the biggest concern when you had initially, looked into this? Oh yeah, blah blah blah. Like I said, I'm not okay, John. Totally. So just walk with me one step really quickly. Right now, I know it sounds like you said maybe you didn't look into it, and I can understand. Maybe you clicked on the wrong thing. You got a little confused. It's okay. Now let me kind of walk you through this, John. I see Sadie Mercedes. I just made that up. Sadie John. Now is that your spouse? Is that your daughter? Who is that into relation to you? Well, that's my daughter. Oh, hey, no worries. Totally understand, right? Jeremy Minor, control the call, right? With your tonality. Totally understand. So let me ask this. Sadie John, it's your daughter, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Now, just so I'm clear here, I'm assuming, right? And just correct me if I'm wrong. When you need something in place for her, and do you have anything like in the event that you do pass away or something happens to you? Do you have anything that would make sure that she's protected? I'm just kind of assuming that's why I looked into this. Is that correct? Would you have anything that would do that? No. Cool, John. Totally understand. So I'm talking him off the ledge, bro. These people fill these things out. Why would companies, me, myself, anybody else you buy for, sell you a lead for somebody that didn't fill something out? Like, you gotta think through things in your mind, bro. Like you gotta now were the ads great? No, but I also have to think about the demographic I'm going after, bro. If you're going after final expense, if you're going after a veteran, if you're going after IU, like, dude, these people are habitual clickers, bro. They can understand they're seeing ads about life insurance and they're clicking on an ad rather than just going, dude, you could go down to State Farm and Aflac and get some insurance, bro. There's every single person has seen State Farm. Every single person has seen the commercial. They know that they can get car insurance, health insurance. Like, dude, it's not hard. What would make somebody click on an ad, bro? The type of people, so you have to understand like what they're going through. And the reason I'm saying that is like you have to have a standard for yourself that doesn't let circumstances and your emotion dictate what you do. Because in that situation, I could have got frustrated and been like, okay, and gave up and wrote on the sheet, oh, this person said they weren't in it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool, bro, cool, right? Or in that instance, I could have controlled the narrative, figured it out, addressed it, and kept it pushing. Because it's not necessarily an objection. It's the frame. If I get on the calls every day with the wrong mindset, right? I even tell people like a standard. When I work leads, even when I was an agent, I would get rid of all my red leads. I would just take them off the sheet. Why? Because I don't need to psychologically see that. That does nothing for me. That's a standard. When I wake up and I look at my sheet, I just want to see white, yellow, green. I don't want to see red, black. Like, yo, that messes with you. In your CRM, I don't want to see a bunch of bad notes, this, that, no close. Like, dude, you are screwing yourself mentally. That's a standard, right? If I want to say no excuse, no explanations, that doesn't mean that I don't ever want to give an excuses. That means I don't make excuses. Man, these leads are great, even if they're not going that well, even if I'm getting hit with a lot of objections. So I'm not going to try to regurgitate or try to put that in front of me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reset. I'm going to remove the things and I'm going to start fresh every day. I'm going to give my mind, because I know how important the way I view things in the environment that I create. If I create an environment that has a bunch of red on my sheet, if I create an environment that has a bunch of no close, if I create an environment where people complain, if I hear that, those things become my standard. And then I only execute too much. You understand? You can execute above your standard. You can execute below your standard. But traditionally, your standard is where you're at the majority of the time because it's your equilibrium. It's where you just flow. I'm not saying I don't have bad days, but I sure as heck don't stay there forever. And I'm not saying I'm always on top of the world, but because it's not realistic. What is realistic is that standard, that even kill. If I can just do this, I have some up, a little down, up, a little down. If I stay right here and I even out, up, a little down. I'm not trying to go too high, right? Because if I go too high, I start setting unrealistic expectations. Sometimes I get disappointed. And there's nothing wrong with staying super high. I'm relatively a juice guy, but I understand that sometimes when you get too high, you start missing with the behaviors, the strategies. You need little subtle remarks to say, nope, I'm going to get right to what I know to do. Okay, I get a lot of success. We call that getting back to the middle. That's a standard. So you have to set a standard for yourself. It's important. But you have to understand that at the highest level in anything, the people have a standard. So if you want to go out and make 40, 50K, if you want to go out and be successful, you have to understand that there is a standard that's set. You have to go out and accomplish it. Point blank, period. You have to set it for yourself. You have to be willing to hit it every single time. And if you're not, it doesn't matter. You haven't even set it for yourself. How can you be able to set it your team? You can't. You got to go out and execute. So as always, please make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. Hope this video helps and is useful to you. You should emphasize and use it as much as you can. I try to live out what I say. I hold myself accountable by making sure that there's a standard here, that I'm dropping videos preferably every day to give as much game as I can and to provide as much value as I can to the marketplace in hopes that, you know, the right person, somebody might want to come work with us, partner up with us. They believe the way I believe. They see the world the way I see the world. And, you know, they're like, yo, I want to come work with you guys, make money with you all, and grow. If you're an individual agent, you want to buy leads, you can go to Lead Lab CRM. If you're an agency owner and you potentially want to partner up with us, you want to leverage our systems, our marketing, our strategies, you want to work hands-on with myself and my team, we can help you grow. We can help you scale, right? We're about to have our 4th agency that we take into $1 million a month. So I'm very excited to be able to push them to those new heights. That's really my goal. I want to take it on full steam ahead and really push. And yeah, that's all we're trying to do, right? So if you need help with anything, please let us know. Go to the website. Our process is really simple. You have to partner with us. There's a standard, there's a quota, there's a process. This is not like you're just going to come in. I used to do that. Like, yeah, man, just drop a retainer and work with us. It's like, that doesn't work for me, at least. I've done a lot of work with a lot of agents over the years. It's been 4 years. Like I said, we've helped 550 plus. I hadn't even done the count up for how many we're at now. We're definitely well over 700. I can say that confidently, but we're continuing to grow. I like 550 though. I might just stick with that just because it's kind of powerful. And on our website, we have literally, I think it's 900 testimonials now, screenshots, and over like 350 videos. We got more videos coming, more interviews coming. We have in-person stuff. So if you're watching and you're rocking with us, stay tuned. There's a lot more on the way. We've got new leads that are coming out, new things that we're addressing. We're always staying creative and innovative. So until next time, we'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.